These are $100 million networking secrets. I'm on my way to a networking event right now that I want to be able to share with you because I feel like nobody really teaches you how to network. People expect that you know how to network, right? You show up to these events, you sign up for some new offering, maybe in your city, maybe through your industry, but then nobody actually teaches you, like, how do you get what you wanted out of the event? So I'm a professional networker. I established a relationship with Grant and Elena Cardone through networking. I have met billions of dollars of relationships due to my ability to network. And I want to just share with you all of the secrets, all of the tips that I've learned, because this is the thing that has been the catalyst for growth. It is not you sitting at your house or in your office, banging away on emails, doing whatever it is you think you need to do. It's actually getting to know people. So let's just dive on in. So my first tip, when you get in the room, as soon as you are in there, you locate the people that you came to meet. You might be like, what do you mean by that? Like, I don't know who I came to meet. I'm networking. I don't know anybody. You know that you came there for a very specific set of relationships. You know that you invested this time, you traveled, you did whatever you need to do in order to find, maybe it's just a handful of people. Maybe it's even just one person. So when you're in the room, like, scan and say, like, who's the person in this room that I need to meet? And I always know who I'm supposed to meet by the energy that they're radiating, not to get all woo-woo on you, but for me, energy is really important. Like, are they gregarious? Are they interested in other people? Like, as soon as you walk in the room, you can tell if somebody's like standing to the side, if someone's like awkwardly holding their drink, if somebody's drinking too much. You know as soon as you walk in the room. So, first step, locate the people that you came to meet at the event. Speaking of the person that's like drinking too much, do not drink at a networking event. I know that it like takes the nerves away and that it just makes you feel more social. Sometimes I'll even hold a fake drink to make other people more comfortable, because sometimes people freak out about, oh, you don't drink, then they think you're weird for that as well. Hold a drink, but don't drink, because when you're drinking, your inhibitions are just not there. At least that's the case for me, and I know that's the case for most people. And the reality is, I came there to do business. I came there to move my life forward. I came there to meet somebody who I wanted to impress. I'm not as impressive when I'm drunk. I'm just not. Some people get happy, some people get silly, which that's fine. But for me, I want to have my shit together. When I met Grant and Elena, I was not drunk because I was so nervous ahead of time that I just like took back a couple of shots. I was totally of sound mind, able to communicate, talk about what we were doing. My husband and I were there together. And I just have a policy. If I'm really going to a place to network, to meet new people, they're not seeing Natalie tipsy, and they sure as hell are not seeing Natalie drunk. Just kidding. My next tip is you should be a professional question asker. Think of yourself as the person in the room who knows everything about everybody. You are interested, not necessarily interesting. Now, there is a time to be interesting. Being interesting, super important. I love being interesting. I want to tell people all of the great things that our business does, all of the great things that I do. When you're first meeting people and you're just getting to know each other, that's not the time to just be bragging about the trips that you go on or the things that you do or how awesome you are. Get to know them. Ask really great questions. And the best way that I know how to do this, I look at somebody straight in the eye, I'm like, man, what do I not know about what they're talking about? Networking can be awkward because you don't even know half the things that somebody's saying, because you feel silly, you might not understand the words that they're using. Just ask really great questions, and your ability to be transparent in those conversations is like refreshing in a networking situation. You want to be refreshing. You want people to leave and think, that was a really great conversation. Now, on my next networking tip, speaking of leaving, there are certain people, when you are networking, you might have thought they were the person. Remember going back to tip number 1, where I was like, you have to find the person that you came there for. You might pick wrong. That is okay. I have picked wrong many, many times. As soon as you recognize that you've picked wrong, you do not stand with that person the rest of the night. They do not become your bud. They do not become like the leech that you like go and continue to like do the thing with. You leave them. But then how do you leave them? This is like the age-old question, because you feel awkward because they're like now like clingy to you. You're there to network. What was your intention? You came to move yourself forward, move your business forward. You came to grow in some way. You cannot do that when you find out that Debbie, who you thought was gonna be amazing, actually is a weirdo. Okay, now once you find out Debbie is a weirdo, this is the best transition ever. You simply ask Debbie, hey Debbie, so great meeting you tonight. What's your contact information? As soon as you ask for the contact information, it gives this natural conclusion to the conversation. It's like, yeah, we're gonna be in contact, but that means that I gotta go. Like I'm transitioning to the next conversation. Now, you should still do that even with people that you want to meet and you want to move the relationship forward with. Let's say Debbie, you're like, hey, contact information, gotta go because Debbie was a drainer. But then you meet George and George is amazing. You still ask George for his contact information. Not because you want to ditch George, but because you actually want to get in contact with George. Now, the next thing, once you get the contact info, follow up immediately. Our follow-up game is gonna be strong at a networking event because that's why you're there. You're there to meet people, to connect, move the relationship forward. So when you're following up, make it immediate. Text them that night. This is not like wait 3 days, the age-old dating advice that your parents probably used to give you of like, oh, don't be too desperate. No, you're trying to move things forward. You're trying to make things happen quickly. You're gonna forget about it in 3 days anyway, so you might as well just do it the night of. Hey, it was really great to meet you tonight. I'd love to be able to connect with you on XYZ thing. Let's get a call scheduled. Send a call scheduler over to them. Follow up in a couple of days. If they didn't respond back to you, that's the game. Speaking of networking, I am about to go into a networking event right now here at the Business Bootcamp. So this room that I'm about to join has about 70 multi-million-dollar business owners, and I get to meet with them, I get to learn from them, I get to network with them, and I'm gonna be practicing all the things that I just talked to you about. These boot camps are transformational for business owners because they're able to meet with other business owners. If you're sitting here watching this YouTube video, you might not actually be able to have these networking conversations because you don't have any place to network. You should come to our next business boot camp. Go to cardoventures.com/bootcamp. Our team will just drop the link down in the chat. It would be great to have you. Well, they won't drop it in the chat, they'll drop it in the link. You know what I'm saying. They'll drop it here. If you were able to come, you'd be able to practice these things and also learn the strategies of how to make more money, how to sell better, how to market better in order to grow your business. I'm running a little bit late. I need to get in this business bootcamp networking event. So come on, let's go. Okay, so here's the deal. This was an incredible networking event. I love being able to spend time with people that I don't know, people that I need to know in order to grow our business, in order to move things forward. My final tip on networking: you are playing a long game. Think about it as a long game. If it doesn't go perfectly that night, that moment, it's okay because you're playing a long game. If you get the contacts, like we talked about, you actually follow up with them, you will learn how to develop this muscle to where all you're looking for is one relationship. If you had one relationship that created millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, that's what the one relationship with Grant and Alana Cardone did for us. If you just found that one person, wouldn't you be okay with having hundreds of bad networking nights of relationships that didn't move forward to find the one? Of course you would. So think about it in the long game. It's not just about that moment. It's about how do you follow up? How do you create a brand for yourself? How do you get known? Getting out of obscurity, so important. I'm interested to know if you have other networking tips. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be coming out with so many other great videos, so don't forget to subscribe. There's a little bell. Don't forget to do that because then you'll be notified when that content comes out. And the camera died on that last clip, but I look forward to seeing you on the next video.